Hey.
Hola.
Welcome. We're back on the cozy set.
Oh yeah.
um
And I feel like we're getting back into it.
Yeah, we're getting back into it after natural disasters and technical difficulties. Let's just say we still don't understand how the cloud works. The cloud is not clouding. I just don't understand why it's so difficult.
And I probably we have a system that could probably use some
zhuzhing.
Yeah.
some things. Some tech wizards help us out.
Yeah.
But I think we're making it.
We're making
figuring it out.
Slowly but surely.
Yeah, so we keep saying that. How many months has it been now? Well,
I think the first one, I actually just looked today. The first actual thing that we put out on Instagram was in April. And today, now it's going to be August.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah.
It doesn't even feel like that long, honestly.
No.
But it's been fun.
It has.
And we're still figuring it out.
Yeah.
We'll probably keep figuring it out. But for the most part, I think we've got,
Oh, yeah.
It's going.
Yeah.
We're rolling.
But I'm Kristi.
And I'm Clari.
And this is
Dear Primas. Welcome back. If you're your first time watching,
happy you're here.
Yeah, I hope we gain your attention. We keep you entertained, and you enjoy it because we're enjoying it, and we're glad you're here.
Yep.
So yeah, what's been up? What's the 411?
What has been up? You go first.
I've been on a show kick, and I feel like I'm playing them back in my head, and I'm still not gonna name all of them. So first, I don't know the order, but I for sure got into Queen Charlotte. The spinoff of Bridgerton.
Okay, yeah.
It is so good. It took me maybe even 3 tries.
Okay.
I think I tried it. I don't know when it came out, honestly. I thought I had seen it and maybe given it a chance, or not really, just push play and kind of like mindless. And the same thing happened the second time. I was like doing laundry in my room, like trying to hang stuff up, and like I like to like just watch something.
Yeah.
But then I ended up doing too much like back and forth, and I was like, oh, I'd pay zero attention.
Yeah, I gotta figure out what's going on.
And so I was like, well, let me try again. And that time I was hooked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll have to add that because I haven't watched it yet.
Yes, there's that one, and then the other one is not like really like, oh, you must watch, but it's All American. Did you ever watch any of the?
I did, but I fell off. Like the seasons continue.
Fall offable for sure.
Yeah.
It's just one of those super mindless ones at this point that I'm like,
semi
yes, yeah. I'm like, I'm in it. Let's just, and it's like an easy, like you don't have to pay attention at this point. There's so much happening all the time, and it is like corny kind of.
They're not in high school anymore on the newer season.
Yeah.
I fell off, I think, before that
because at first it was really good, and then they kept doing a lot, and I was like, this is a lot happening.
A lot.
Very dramatic.
Yeah, very.
And I wonder, it says it's based off of a true story, but like how based?
Yeah.
Is it just like the main character?
Or did it go straight?
Yeah. Like just, let's just try to do the most.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it is very dramatic. But I've been watching that, and I thought there was another, oh my gosh. Oh yeah. me and Adrian watched The Man with 1,000 Kids. It's like a 3
I think I've seen it on Netflix.
3 series docu-series.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's good? Interesting?
It's nuts. It's crazy.
I like some shows like that.
Yeah. So we watched that one. I mean, that was like in like 2 nights, maybe 2.5, something like that. It's crazy, and it's very, very scary. If you think about it.
Okay. I'll have to watch it.
Yeah. And then once you watch it, then we'll like talk about it, because I don't want to like spoil everything. So yeah, I feel like I've been on a show kick. Started The Bachelorette.
Oh, how is that this season?
She's okay. It's the first Asian American Bachelorette, so that's cool. But she seems like very young, like party girl problems, Yeah, and some of the guys, there's like a few. There's one main character guy from Houston, and a lot of people are rooting for him, like, on social media and stuff. They're kind of trying to make him like the villain of the season. Not villain, but villain.
Okay.
He just stands up for himself. He's like a loudmouth, but he's like, I think that's just his personality.
Okay.
But yeah, it's another one. Like, I don't watch it like right when it comes out. Like, I'm like, oh, I haven't watched it, and I'll like watch 2 episodes. Or, yeah, but it's just something. Yeah.
The only one that we've been like dabbling in but haven't been like on it is Mayor of Kingstown.
Oh, I've heard of it. Because
we really have to be like, the boys cannot be anywhere because it's crazy. But it's
wait. With the girl, she's an investigator.
No. Oh, I think that one.
I think me and Lissa had this exact conversation because
that one might be another
Mayor
one.
of Mayor of Easton, but it's not like Mayor. It's like her name is like Maher or something.
That one's another one, but I don't think that's on Paramount.
No, it's HBO.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think I've watched that one. That one was good.
So good.
But Mayor of Kingstown, this one, I think y'all would like it. It's so good. It's like, the guy's based. He's like I want to say he's like a fixer of things, like Olivia Pope.
Okay.
But for drug dealers.
Oh, and love that.
It was so good. It's so good. The first season, I think we're on the third season. I'm sorry, the third season is out. We are only on the second season.
Oh, nice.
First season was fantastic.
Okay.
But
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
I think we just found out that we had access to Paramount Plus. And so
there's some goodies on there.
Yeah.
There's some goodies on there.
So
Yellowstone?
Okay. We fell off after like this last season that came out.
Yeah.
We were like, okay, we're over it. I just can't stand the girl. I can't stand her. The daughter.
Oh, Beth.
I just can't stand her. And it's so dramatic. Like, she's so dramatic. So we literally we watched like 2-3 episodes of the current one or the last one, whichever one was out, and we're like,
over it.
But I loved all of it up until
yeah.
I could probably watch it, but Adrian, that was one that we were actually watching together, and he's so picky. And so when he was like, but I agreed. But I could probably still see it through. When it comes to a show, I'm gonna see it through. A book, it's gonna take me longer.
Ooh, I've read some good books lately. Like, I feel like my books have just been slowly climbing.
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah, it's good. You want to shout one out?
The last one I read, Funny Story, and then Abby Jimenez, Just for the Summer. That one was really, really good. Ellen Hildebrand one that I read, Swan Dive. That one was really, really good. And then the only one left was also very, very good.
You need to tag Dear Primas on your stories when you post them because
I can add it after.
Well, those are kind of like our faves for the week. We'll probably just use those. Some shows. I will add one movie.
Ooh,
that will probably be like my oh my gosh, The Long Game.
Oh, it's so good. The boys even love that game. This is the golf one, right? I feel like they did.
Yeah,
I feel like they did. Like, wait, why was it sad for you?
Because they were Hispanic and they didn't want them to compete.
They did have questions on that.
Yeah.
Yes, they did have questions. Yeah. I mean, they've watched Remember the Titans.
Remember the Titans. So
they've already kind of asked those questions and like understand that was then type of dynamic. But yeah, that was
it was so good. It was so good. I was so sad at the end when they like put on the screen like where they are, like what happened, and like the main guy, he still kind of didn't see it through because he could have, you know. Yeah. But it's very sad, like the home life. And that was a good one.
Yeah, that was a really good movie.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen it, it's just released on Netflix.
I used to love Jay Hernandez.
Oh yeah,
John Rose.
I didn't even realize that was him. Like
he's aged.
No, when I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, and then it didn't even click until I don't even know when I had the realization. But yeah, if you haven't watched that, watch it. Yeah,
I'm gonna do silent karaoke.
Okay. Silent karaoke. We harmonized.
Oh
goodness. You said you had one?
Oh yes. Are you ready? You
gotta be strong. No.
Oh no. Okay. But
yeah, I don't know.
No, it kind of does sound like that. Okay. Where
a little bit of money. His dad is gone. Somewhere smoking rock now. Yeah. I have no idea what that's called. What's it called?
What would you do?
What would you do? What would you do? Dude, I was singing that song in like second grade.
Oh my god, I don't know what channel we had it on, but it was playing, and I was like, wow, this is a great song. And I was like, the times that we were singing this should not have been.
I have flashbacks, and I can like recall like in latchkey like singing this song. I don't know if I knew back then, but you know.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
You let me go for a long time.
I really couldn't until you like, I don't know what gave it away. Okay, I think this one I don't really know. I just know like the chorus. So.
Okay.
Maybe I can start at the beginning. Oh gosh.
This
time, baby, I'll be bulletproof. Yeah,
that's a good one.
I was like, I probably could have done it because I don't know what she says for real. It's been there, done that, something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What are we gonna talk about today?
We are gonna talk about all things wedding. I feel like it's wedding season usually, like around these months.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've been to for sure 3 weddings like already this year.
Goodness.
If not 4.
Goodness.
And then if you start from December, we had 3 weddings.
Last December.
And then now
already they're trickling in for
we've had 3 for sure. I want to say 4, but maybe I'm making that up. But we have 3 for sure.
Goodness.
Yeah. So it's like
for like the remainder of the year you're talking about.
No, we've gone to 3 from January to now.
Wow. Okay.
So I feel like we've been in the swing of the weddings, and it brings back, memories, and you just like notice different things like after you've been there and you've done it, and now you're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. Let's take it back to wedding season for us.
And yeah, just all the craziness. So we've already done our engagement stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when you get engaged, the first thing you're like, I'm engaged, and what's the first thing people say?
When's the date?
Yeah.
What was the?
I'm like, wow, can we like breathe? Like, I don't know. I didn't have this already planned, in advance.
Yeah.
So I think that's like a big common thing that for sure. I don't know if I was like that aggressive to people before, but for sure, like after I got engaged, and then I would find out others were engaged, I would never ask like, when's the date? I was like, so like, how's it going? Right. And then if they wanted to divulge information, then I was like, okay, I'll ask questions.
Yeah.
So don't do it. Don't ask.
PSA.
Yeah. So how long after getting engaged did you start planning? Do you recall?
Oh my God. Yeah. I remember feeling like I was late to the planning part of it. I don't know. I think I'd normally just do well under pressure or do well when it's closer to the time that I need to like kick it into gear. But we got engaged in April, and maybe I started planning in June. Well, at least like figuring out where. Yes, the venue I think was the first thing that we were like, okay, maybe we got to get on a calendar of some sort.
You have to, because especially post COVID world, but even before then, things were already crazy
for sure.
But now, now I think they've probably caught up, but
booming.
Yes,
that business is booming.
It is crazy. So yeah, for sure. So what? That's like
a year out,
3
maybe.
Months?
Oh, 3 months after. I'm sorry. 3 months after. We were engaged.
And so then we got engaged on like New Year's. Let's call it January, and then I didn't start planning till June, till July. Yeah.
What were you doing?
I was enjoying it. No, I just like, I don't know. I was never one of those that like dreamt of a dream wedding.
Yeah.
Like my whole life. It wasn't a thing that I didn't want a big wedding.
Yeah.
On that side of it, we were kind of like, we weren't on different pages when that happened, because of course we'd already talked about this. But the husband was the one that was like, no, we're going to have a party. We're going to celebrate. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So I think, but because who does it all fall on most of the time?
Right.
Like, even though you want that, which he was involved, but it's still not the same.
Yeah.
And so then I kind of used like the summer. I probably started like June, like looking, online.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And then once we actually started going to like venues and stuff was like end of June, early July.
Yeah.
And I think because I was still teaching, so I was like, my brain just I can't do that. Yeah.
Couldn't handle all of that.
So we tried to get as much done in the summer.
That makes sense. Yeah. What else?
Y'all booked the venue like a year out.
Yeah.
Right. And pretty much so did we. We booked July, and then we were going to get married May of the next year. And they had 0 Saturdays like that next year available, and we wanted it outdoors, so we didn't want it to go too late into the summer either. There was like some I think still in July, like literally a year out, and I was like, no, we'll just take a Friday like in May, and go from there. That was nuts. And then from there it's just like figuring out everything else that we need. Was y'all's, so we'll move this part up, the venues types.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah.
So when we were shopping for venues, do you remember how many y'all went to?
I want to say we probably looked at maybe 2. But the one that we actually settled on was the Heights, or what was it called? Something the Heights. I'll just say we never had it there. But we booked it and we made the deposit. And we had to,
Yeah. Do you want to get into that part, and then we'll like
go back
up, and then we'll go back with like how you, I guess. Yeah.
So we were planning to get married middle of June, maybe. I don't know why June 17th rings a bell, but we'll just call it June 17, 2017. Well, my son was born June 28th, 2017. I found out with that January before that same year that I was pregnant. So that was mid planning season.
Yeah.
And we had to cancel the wedding and move everything up to March.
You had the dress.
Had the venue, had maybe a couple of other things, because we can get into that with the venue and what it included. But that was a hard little thing to bite off, because that was a deposit that we just lost. There was no like take back seats.
Yeah. Was there even an option to move it, or it was all taken or something?
You know what? I don't know. I don't know if we even thought to do that. I think in our minds we were like, we've been together for so long, and then we were engaged, and we were like, let's just move it up. I don't even remember us asking each other if we wanted to move it back.
Because that happened recently with a friend of mine, and so they were able to move but they've only had like a small options of what was actually available, because if not, they would have lost their deposit and everything. Which is a good little chunk of money. Wowzers.
Yeah.
So spoiler alert. No. There was still a wedding.
There was still a wedding. A shotgun wedding, if you will.
Yeah, but it was fun.
Yeah. Okay, so back to venues.
So the venues, we went to one in Houston. I was very specific, not very specific, kind of specific.
You had a
vision of what I wanted. I didn't want like a cookie cutter hall. We wanted initially to do destination, because I was like, if I am going to do this, I want it to be like a whole experience. I want it to be fun. So destination was always like on our list. Then we had like the randomest hailstorm of the century, and we had to get our whole roof replaced after just 3 years of living here. And we had to come out of pocket on some. And so it was just like things just piled up at that point, and we're like, I don't want to just book something online. And I also, if I was going to do it in destination, I didn't necessarily want it at like a whole resort type thing, even though that probably would have been the easiest thing. But I wanted to go and like see different options, and it just wasn't feasible anymore. And I'm like, So then after that, I'm like, okay, I still want it outdoors, but we live in Texas, and the heat's a factor. It's not like the prettiest. Some places are, but like Austin's way out of our price range. And we were always very like, we want to have this budget and stick to it as much as we can, and nothing like super extravagant. We wanted to be in our budget and be friendly. And we had that number, and that number was like crazy whenever we were looking at different venues online. Like what? Excuse me? Yeah. And so we looked at one here, and it was okay, but like they had zero parking because it was Avant Garden in Montrose. They could set it up like super nice how I kind of envisioned it, but it was like the logistics just didn't make sense. Yeah. And then we decided like San Antonio, like that's where we met. Like let's take it back and
full circle.
Yeah, and like they have a lot more budget friendly options. Beautiful venue. The weather's also a little bit better. Like not as hot. Yeah. And so we had like 4, I think, that we were going to look at that I had been looking at online. The first one that we went into, we were like, we loved it. And that's the one that we ended up choosing. But as soon as we walked in, like we kind of all knew, but I'm like, it's the first one. Like we still got to see this through. Got to see the other ones. And we ended up seeing 2 more. And then the last one, we're like, let's just cancel and go back to the first one and let them know. Yeah. And so this in that venue, very transparent online. Like we already knew what the prices were, and it was as you say, a la carte. Like you had to choose and they have like a preferred vendors. Like they gave you a starting place, but you could also do your own research and go through there. Yeah. And that's the kind of venue. But they did offer tables, chairs, and linens. Yeah, which was a huge thing. Yeah.
The one that we went with, or that one that we put the deposit on, and didn't see it through all the way, but I remember the same thing. They offer the tables, chairs, and linens, and then everything else was kind of like which the only thing that I remember being like a big deal that I did not like was the alcohol. And like, I don't want a dry wedding. I wanted to provide alcohol.
And they weren't allowing?
They were allowing it, but it was like a weird selection, and they wouldn't allow certain like liquors, or they wouldn't. It was like wines, maybe.
Okay, like wine and beer only type of thing.
Yeah. No tequila, no like nothing like that. Yeah, I thought I remember something like that. Yeah. So that was the only thing that was throwing us off, but we ultimately had decided on it and put the deposit on it. So. But then when we ended up having the wedding backyard, that worked out way better. Alcohol wise.
It was a free for all. Yeah, and the other, like, I feel like our top 2 contender was like an all-inclusive option. And now looking back, because at first, like, it was a little bit above our budget, what we initially had planned for. But then once everything was said and done, we came out like $2,000 above that price. So technically, I think we went like $5,000 over budget, which isn't terrible.
No, yeah.
And Adrian was the one that kept like, we already have the house, we already have this. Like, it's just so, let's just do it. It's okay. We had but of course, we didn't want to be in debt. That was like was his thing for engagement, and that like for the wedding, like we're not gonna take out a loan to do this. And,
for sure. Because y'all were paying for
them. Yeah. Which is another thing, like traditional values. In my family, it's like once you're out the house, like that's it. It's on you.
Yeah.
And his family is more of like the American traditional side, is like the women's side pays for everything. And so they have 2 daughters, and they were prepared to pay for all of those 2 weddings.
Yeah.
And the groom's parents pay for the rehearsal dinner. And so, and that was one thing that was like, the rehearsal dinner, like, I don't know, I just didn't see like the point of it. But his mom wanted, like, that's what they wanted to do for us. And I'm so glad that we did do it.
Yeah.
Because do you remember how emotional I was at the rehearsal dinner?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Because it was like, our wedding was already small, like for a wedding.
Yeah.
But then having like that one room with like your closest friends and family. Yeah. So looking back, that was probably like my favorite.
Yeah.
Out of the
really.
Yeah.
Out of like the whole weekend or the whole experience, you'd say that your favorite part.
Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah.
Wait, why? What do you think?
It was just so emotional. I think, I don't know, like, because it was just literally seeing every single, like, the closest people to both of us in one room. Like, they made the travel to come on a Thursday already, like, and come here and show, like, love. And I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, even with me and Abby, when she walked in, she was like, I was like, no. I didn't even cry at the wedding.
Yeah.
Well, except for my vows, but like I'm gonna cry now. No, but that was my favorite part, kind of going off. But yeah, so that's how his were, and of course, like my dad, he ended up giving us like a little bit of something, which I was so grateful for because I expected nothing, and I told him before even getting engaged, I was like, look, I know this is how y'all think, and I kind of brought it up in front of his family too, just so like that's just how I don't know if it's Mexican culture, I'm pretty sure, but like I chose to leave, so because if not, he would have probably paid for all of it, honestly,
I think we charged it to a car, well, because we ended up renting a
big ass tent, and those are pricey,
and I think we did that really last minute because of the fucking rain.
Oh man, dude.
It was torrential.
Because y'all ended up getting married in April or March.
Yeah, in mid-March, and this literal like hurricane came out of nowhere. The whole morning, the whole day, just pouring, and it finally stopped whenever we actually started walking down the aisle.
But the whole floor was like
so bad.
And your dad had put down put the plywood
as the dance floor,
which helped so much, but still like
it was still it was so bad,
splashing up in there, but nobody cared. When I tell y'all nobody cared, like everybody was having a time.
It was wild. But I mean, I think our initial budget was $10,000, and I think we went over like maybe 3 to 4.
Okay, that's what ours was about. Ours was like 13,000. But that's like everything, like dress. All in hair, makeup, like all the things. And we ended up like right over 15. Which is not bad.
No, like as long as you're not like 100. The craziness that I see in today's world is insane,
dude. It's wild.
$150,000 for a wedding. Do you know how many houses and how many commercial properties you can buy with that? It is wild.
For one night. That was my thing. It was like, it's one night. Like,
guests.
Yes. All right. So talking guests. Let's just start with, of course, we know the more people, the more dinero, because in the wedding industry, it's like, the price. Shout out Serena. Adrian, the podcast, this for the alumni association, they shouted her out. I was like, could have been y'all. Could have been y'all.
That's cool.
Okay, no, so the more people, the more money per plate, the seat, all the things.
And who's paying for it?
We are the people. It's not a free for all. Everybody's not just pitching in. It's not.
Could you imagine?
That'd be great.
Hey, I'm gonna bring my +1 and I'll pay for his plate. I'll Venmo you.
Which is like also when you're RSVPing, we understand. I know like emergencies happen. But like
for like not showing up or for
like if you RSVP and then you don't show up.
Should you send a text message and be like, hey?
Well, sometimes it's too late. But like because the thing is, I think if you're like 2 weeks out and then you know that you can't make it, for sure send the text, even if it's like a week.
Because you're finalizing numbers and stuff. Like,
and now that's 200, like not 200, but let's call it $50 a person, like just on a. So also think about that. It makes you. After ours that's whenever I started. I was like, oh, okay, because I think we had only done it like maybe once or maybe twice that we said like yes, and then we couldn't go. But emergencies, that you can't control, but it's like, and I think now we're just like we're just gonna start saying no because we've done our share
year round.
But anywho, so like that costs money. And so I think like if you're not invited, it's never personal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't take it to heart.
Don't take it to heart. I don't like when we were making the decisions first, like we had said, it was always like, if y'all don't know us as a couple, you're not even like on the list. You know, it's not even a consideration.
Fair, for sure.
Because how awkward. Like, this is my husband.
Nice to meet you. Congratulations.
Yeah. Beautiful wedding. Beautiful couple. Like, you know, and some people still have that mentality, like, to invite everybody, or if you've got it like that to where plus ones are like all good, that's great. Like, and I know it was like kind of touchy whenever I brought it up, like, to at least our families. Like, when I was like, well, first of all, we're inviting our closest people, so people already knew what was up. If I hadn't met your significant other, like, if we hadn't interacted with them, I'm sorry. But you're not getting that plus one. Like, it wasn't a given.
Yeah.
And I think that people are moving more to that side. And it is like, because in our heads, it was intimate.
Yeah. And
it's like, we want the closest people to us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if we hadn't even seen you in a year plus, and something two, you know, like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? Not that you're not a part of our lives. Like, you could still be, but technically you're not. Like, if you're not making that effort or.
Yep.
So. Yeah. And just don't have the expectation that you're going to get invited all the time.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah. Just like, I think we've touched, like, I guess most of like the preemptive things of planning, but like all things planning, because it goes even further. Like, we've talked about budget, and just what that goes into is like these vendors. Whenever if your venue's not all inclusive, like, the headaches of all things wedding is so tedious, and it's annoying. And then they have websites, but on their websites, no prices to be found.
Yeah.
It's like, inquire here. I was like, I know my budget for photography is going to be X amount. And like, we sent in an inquiry because, you know, love their work, saw it on, I looked a lot on Instagram for vendor, like hashtags, all that. Like, it really helped. Because we were getting married in San Antonio, so I couldn't ask too many people to refer because it was, you know, all here. And I love the pictures on Instagram. We'll go to their website. It's just inquire here, and then I got a quote back, like, just for them to send me a package saying that it was $8,000, and I'm like, that's like my budget, for everything.
It's wild.
And so it's like, you're wasting your time as a business owner. You're wasting my time. Just put it on there.
Yeah, which could be that they don't want to put the prices for other people in the same industry.
Yeah, to know what they're charging.
Yeah, let us know why you don't put your prices on your website. Maybe, maybe it's a thing that we don't.
Yeah, because I feel like if I were, I would. And I think just the fact of the matter that there is more, or not more, but there are some that do it, it just brings up the question more, like, why don't you just do it?
Yeah.
And I think even on Instagram, like, for different like lash techs or this or that, a lot of it is up front. I think, I don't know. I think it wastes time.
Yeah, I agree.
And then so dress shopping. Did you we only went to one place with you too, right? Or you went to two? Did
I go to two? Same day?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
I really feel like it was two, but maybe it was one.
Maybe it was two different times though. Brick House Bridal was where I found my dress, the dress that I never got to wear. Put a deposit on it, and then was going to be 6 months pregnant. Did I already say that before?
I don't think so.
Like the spoiler alert?
I think we did. Yeah.
Okay. But I was going to be 6 months pregnant at my wedding, so put the deposit down, but then had to, eat that because didn't end up taking the dress.
Yeah, just had to
own it.
Just
left it because I had to pay the remaining balance. But it would have been nice to look back on and be like, wow, I did love that dress.
Yeah. And then I went to like the first I started freaking out because everyone was like, it can take up to 6 months for the dress to come in, and like, I had kind of started, a little workout routine, but I wasn't like all the way like where I wanted to be. And of course, like, it was going to continue, but when you want to go try on stuff, you want to feel confident and comfortable. But anyhow, went to the first place, went to Venturas, because the research that I was doing I seem to gravitate towards like a designer, like not on purpose, but once I realized like, oh, this is, I don't even remember who it was now. But they were gonna have a trunk show at that bridal store that weekend. So they were gonna bring out like the whole new collection, and it just so happened that was like when I like the people that I wanted were available to go. And I tried on a good chunk of dresses, and I was just like not feeling them. And then the one that I thought I was gonna like the most was like this big, teeny tiny, because it was part of the collection. So Abby, my niece, tried it on, and I was like, oh, that's the one.
You made it work for me?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So it wasn't even like that moment of like, oh, it's the dress. Like, I don't know. Yeah. And the whole thing kind of just felt like, I don't know, not as like glamorous as like
what you thought it was gonna be. It was like anticlimactic.
Yeah.
Really?
It was fun.
Yeah.
I think it was fun, but I don't know. It was just like a check. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think prior to that, I was looking at a lot of like pre-owned dresses, because I'm like, people literally only wear this like one time. Yeah. And then, and there's like there's a bunch of websites that cater to it. I used to, when I was a teacher and on conference, I would like look on the website all the time and see, because I mean these dresses were like $500, like originally $3,000.
Yeah.
So that's an option too, which I still could have done it. Like, and I think if you're gonna go that route, it is good to go try on dresses just so you can get like a better idea of the size.
Yeah,
because wedding dress sizes are so different than normal sizes.
That, and like I thought the design that I thought I wanted in my mind didn't actually look the way I wanted it to look. I remember thinking that. I think it was not a halter, but 2 straps.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which I thought I always wanted strapless.
Oh, okay. And I think mine was the lace, like too lacy. I felt like it was so overpowering. Like in pictures, it looked beautiful, but when I tried it on, I was like, it just looks like it's doing a lot. Like maybe I'm too short for it. I don't, like that was a big thing, because I did like the way the lace always looked in pictures, and then which I knew also I wanted more simple and like satin, like just. But then I was like, it's gonna be outdoors. I don't want it to be like too big and structured. Yeah. And so I was like, I don't know. I don't have a big emotional attachment to the dress. Like, I loved it at the end of the day. I did some alterations to it last minute, because it had like a strap in the back, like lace up kind of, and it was open but crisscrossy corsetti style. And I'm like, kind of looks like a prom dress, because it was so simple. Like, it was just straight and not flowy. Yeah. So we took that off because I didn't want it to tie up. And then we switched the straps to make it like 2 straps going down with just like an open back. Yeah. It was gorgeous. And I ended up liking that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have that emotional attachment to it.
Yeah. I think my emotional attachment is like what could have been.
Yeah. That's a good way of putting it. Like, probably so.
Yeah. The one that got away.
But I think the days of like passing on your dress to like your daughter.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Gone.
Yeah. Or here, you can use this to do whatever, like, dismantle it.
Yeah.
And then I guess kind of going back to like things that I was trying to save money on, my invitations.
Okay.
I was a DIY girly with that, because they just cost so much, like to make it. Like if it's a nice wedding invitation with the nice envelope and this and that, I just bought the envelopes from Amazon, had a little pearl sheen. I didn't even want to send out like actual hard copy invitations. The save the date, I like a good magnet, save the date. But Adrian was like, I just wanted to send our wedding website through text message and call it a day. And he's like, absolutely not. And his mom probably would have not been the biggest fan. Yeah. Because it's not like super traditional. Yeah. But I was like, it's all like mostly friends, like young people that are going, it's not like old school.
Wouldn't think twice. Yeah.
Yeah. And my friend Lauren, she actually just did the link. I'm like, that's so smart, because where does the invitation end up?
Right.
In the trash.
In the garbage.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Basura.
I hold on to it as much as I can, and then I'm like, I'm sorry. I do feel bad sometimes, like throwing.
When you initially get it, it's like beautiful. Maybe I'll put it aside for like a couple weeks.
Yeah. So I think if you want to send the link, send the link. I think it's okay. Because everybody has a wedding website these days.
Yeah, very true. And what you end up using majority of the time.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. Okay, so invitations, I cut corners, save money on that. And then I think from there, I feel like once you have like invitations sent off, most of things are like finalized, and now it's just like the final details.
Okay.
The seating chart, I think, is what gave me like the most headache after emailing all the vendors. It's just like, who's gonna sit with who? Do they know each other? Like, okay, so because we did on top of that, we also had people choosing what food, chicken or beef.
Mm-hmm.
And so then we had to have place cards that indicated somehow whether chicken or beef. We ended up doing 2 different colors the place cards, and that's how like the waiters knew like what the people got. And so I don't know, it just gave me such a headache. Like, we wanted to make sure like the families were kind of put together and that they all made like, you know, people were sitting next to somebody. If they didn't know, maybe they didn't know other people, too many people there, maybe they knew one person, or maybe they would vibe well
so
with
much,
you know. It gave a little bit of headache there.
I did not have to do that. I feel like I'm like living this again because I really did not do that part of it. And I could see how it could be crazy.
Yeah, like, because we wanted like family tables, but then for instance, there wasn't like the families would kind of, it was too much or too little. Like, we're like, okay, well, let's just like for his family, for instance, like let's just put the adults together. And when I say adults, I mean like, you know, the parents and then like the cousins. Like we had like the cousins table and the cousin and sister table pretty much like because we had to make sure like his parents were sitting with, you know, the aunt and uncle, and then his like godparents, you know, like of their age. And then, well, my family's huge, so they got to sit together. So then that y'all's table turned into like cousins and his sister, like family still, but like both families together, which I think was fun.
Oh
so but it was just other moving pieces. And we only had one person that RSVP'd that didn't show up, and so I think that was great. That worked out well. I think. And then for another final detail that looking back was our send off. Adrian's mom, like anytime we're talking about the wedding or something that comes up, like she just remembers John being like, "Are they coming back? Is it over? Like what?" And so we got this classic car. Like we knew we wanted to take pictures like on the farewell. We knew we wanted like a send off in that sense, but like that's where my mind stopped. And like we took off, we said bye, and then we're just driving. We're like, where are we going? And we were like, I didn't have my phone, like, because I didn't have, you know, I had a dress with no pockets, like. We just ended up back at the hotel, just us two, and then we heard like the aftermath of like people just running around scrambling because there's still things that like all the alcohol that didn't get drank had to be shoved into the cars. My stuff that was upstairs in the bridal suite, which we didn't get ready there, thank God, because there wasn't too much, but my stuff was up there, a few other things, I'm sure. Just little details, like I don't know. The mirror,
how that would have been,
the mirror for the seating chart that I DIY'd, like that was mine. Like we had other little lantern things that we kind of, my mom had acquired, and we kind of had them set up. I don't know. We were just like, okay, bye.
See you later.
We did not, like, I didn't think about it at all, and my brain was so fried after all of the planning, and you know, like. I was like, we're going to walk through, people are going to throw rose petals, and we're going to leave. Or, like, we're going to exit.
And I guess, like, in another scenario, people just, come on back.
Reverse. Yeah, which I wish we would have done, because we didn't get, I mean, we got all together after, like, all the friends and stuff, but, like, you know, some of my family, my parents, like, I don't know what they did after. I don't remember. I don't know. It was just so wild. Like, thinking back, it was just like, I don't know. I don't know. So just think about if you're actually leaving, which I don't think people do that these days. I think the send off is just, I don't know. I really don't know.
I'm trying to think of like the last
I think Chad and Kristi, our friends Chad and Kristi, they did it. They had a beautiful, like, I think it was a classic Rolls Royce. I think. But it was convertible and they got married in November or it was winter.
Okay.
She said they were driving back like
oh no, because it was so cold.
It was so cold.
Oh no.
She was like it was far. It was like deep in Conroe to like the Woodlands or something, or like something like that. I don't know. She was like, we were dying.
Oh my god!
And she'll tell you cracking up too, like because we all think about these things. We think about the moment. We think about the pictures.
Yeah.
And then, so think about that if you're gonna leave.
That's funny. What do you think you would have done differently?
So I think differently. I saw TikToks and I kind of took it with lightly, and now in retrospect, I wish that they said some were exaggerated, but they were like, spend like that time with your husband, like hold hands the whole time, wherever you go, he goes. And I wish we would have done that for like a certain amount of time, you know, not the whole night. I think that's excessive, but like first, if you have access to like the venue before people do, after of course the ceremony or whatever, you know, if it's like a different situation like that, they're in cocktail hour, you can go in and take a peek and kind of take it in. You too, that would be nice. Because
a really special moment.
Yeah, I didn't get to just take everything in, like, you know, it kind of just like whoosh, all happened at once. And then just spend a little bit more time together, because I feel like once all the formalities were done with, it was just like house party style. Like he was partying, I was over here partying, and then like we would kind of come together. And then, but for the most part, it was like guys over here smoking cigars and drinking, girls are over here dancing, and and so I think for sure that. And then we didn't have dessert. Like we had a whole dessert table, a whole spread. We had our caterer making banana Fosters live. We didn't have that at all. We didn't have not one cake, cookie, nothing. Yeah. Not because there wasn't enough. I think we just didn't make the time to do it.
Y'all were taking night, like,
we took pictures. Yeah, our photographer got us for like like sunset photos or something like that. But even then, that was like 15 minutes maybe. Like it wasn't long.
Yeah. But I thought that was around the time that the desserts were
maybe
coming out or something.
That makes sense. But I do love those photos. Those are some of my favorites. But yeah, and I was real big on that too, I guess, like trying not to get too caught up in the pictures, which is so with the girls. So I guess that's another things that I wish I would have done is so we didn't have traditional bridesmaids and groomsmen. We just had like my girls and his guys, and I told the girls like wear, you know, just neutral colored dress, earth tone, like pastel-y colors. And whatever, I don't care, material, style, whatever, y'all, long, short, whatever you feel comfortable in. And I feel like everybody looks so nice. Like we took pictures in the bridal suite before, but I wanted to take pictures in the actual venue, like outside, and it just slipped. I think I told the photographer like in an email, I don't know, but I knew I had gone to weddings where they're taking pictures for like ever, and it takes so long. And so I think I was trying to avoid that maybe. But yeah, I wish we would have had at least a few formal nice pictures, you know, all together. And then, but yeah, looking back, would you have done the same like the same thing for wedding party?
No. I think, you know, same thing. I like the idea of like them walking down the aisle to acknowledge like, oh, these are, you know, my people type of thing, but then maybe sitting so that the viewpoint is, or it's not a distraction when people are just kind of like up there up there.
Yeah, because I always thought like it brought me back to quinceañera days, like damas and chambelanes. Like it kind of felt a little childish in a sense, like the idea of it.
I
you know, but I do like the idea of walking down the aisle, sitting down, if that's, you know, if you're gonna want that, because then the other part is like making sure y'all have enough the same amount of people, you know, to walk, or sometimes, you know, someone will walk twice, but I think, you know, but that's like a lot, I think, to think or stress about.
Yeah.
The focal point should be the bride and the groom, and picture purposes, you know, if you really like a shot, but there's someone doing something wonky, you're like, dang, I can't use this picture, or let's crop them or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think more and more that's becoming a thing of like, let's just make it about the couple. With that being said, I think the bachelor parties are still, could still be had.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like a girls' trip, a guys' thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you said joint. Did you?
Yeah. So
how do you feel about the
joint bachelor? I personally, I've been on one. It was fun. Like, it just felt like a big trip at the end of the day.
Like a couple's trip.
Yeah, but it was like, the girls did have their thing during the days, and the guys had their thing, and then at night is most of the time when we would like go out to the clubs at the same time together. Like we had our own, like the girls had their own boat day, and so it was still like some separation that happened.
Where was it at?
In Cabo.
Okay. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, in Cabo, and we had like a big, beautiful house. That was like the fun part, honestly. It was like
you all stayed together.
Yes.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was like, but honestly, at the house, we only took advantage of it once. They had like women that would come and like clean every day, and then we asked them if they could make dinner. I was dying on this trip. Nobody wanted to eat anything, and they all would make fun of me for like a years after about like me always asking like, what are we eating? Like, we had no food. I was dying. I like lost weight on this trip. Like, it was insane. I don't know how everybody was living their lives, but I was like, I need food and I need it now
to function.
But
we ran out snacks.
Yeah, it was like ramen noodles that. It was a hot mess. Only the guys had a car. We stole it like a few times, like to go to our adventure for the day and let them figure it out. It was a shit show. And so the last night we asked like the ladies if they could if we gave them money, if they could go shopping and make us dinner. They made a feast, and that was really cool. Like, that's awesome. Like that we all is like
family dinner.
Yeah, like Jersey style, like Jersey Shore style, or how you see like on TV when people have these big old mansions and they all go on vacations with their big families.
That's cool.
So the last night was pretty fun. We actually enjoyed the badass house that we were in, because other than that, we really were out and about.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of fun aspects about it. And I think if like as a couple, if that's what y'all want to do, like that's fine.
Yeah.
For me, somebody asked me recently if I would have wanted that looking back, and I'm like, no. I liked our girl time, like our celebration. It's not like it's like the last girls trip. Some people see it that way, but I'm like, no, it's just like like that's not the point anymore. Like we're new age. We don't believe in that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so looking back, I wouldn't have changed
the Bachelorette.
No,
yeah.
It was so fun.
I did not have a Bachelorette, but I have lived through a few Bachelorette parties, and I will say, like, I feel like that's the one time that it's like just your time to be with your people that you're kind of just, you know, taking it all in and taking the friendships in that you've built, and taking just like a reflection type of moment, but also to like enjoying yourself a little bit more than you would for just like as a couples trip or as like a I don't know, not that you're gonna be wilding out, but like Miami.
But you are. No.
Yeah. But Miami's been like a favorite. That's where you had your bachelorette party, and we can get into that another episode, but it was so much fun. Ate good. Great.
Yeah, so much good food. Yeah, I still think of Kiki on the river. What a time. Like an experience.
Oh, yeah.
It was an experience.
Absolute experience, for sure. Yeah, that was such a good time. I love that. Nashville.
I'm sorry. Scottsdale.
Yes.
But Nashville's like popping, but it looks so fun.
Yeah.
And I think those are like or like Scottsdale has options, right? If you want to go out and have fun, or if you want to like do nature stuff, you can do that.
Nature stuff. Yeah. That can be another episode. Like, what is the Bachelorette activities? Are we are we being active?
We need to have Daniel. But and if it's only like you and your one bestie, like y'all go have a great time. Like you can relax, y'all can go get a massage. Like it can be whatever it is that you want it to be.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I think that's my advice for that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
And then for you, what would you have done differently? I feel like we talked about everything before, but I brought it back to
well.
Besides the off, you know.
I will say though, at the wedding that we did have the gender reveal, and we found out that I was having a boy. So that was a special moment to take in with everybody, or to have with everyone. But differently, I wish I would have done like a last dance, just us two. Our dance floor didn't really make it the whole night because there was torrential rain and the flooding of the dance floor. That, and what else? You know what I've always like really wanted to do, like a destination wedding and like being real intimate, but like the thought of having a family dinner or just like having the rehearsal with everybody there in one place, I think would be really cool. But even more so, like now seeing the family that we've built, like being able to relive that and just be like renewing our vows after like 10 years, maybe doing it that way
for sure.
One day. So
I don't know. That would be super cool.
Yeah.
I'm all for a good vow renewal. I've never been to one. I'm over here inviting myself.
Well, duh, you would be there.
No, you never know how intimate. But no, I've thought about that a few times too. Yeah. Like, because I don't know if it came out, but a destination wedding is would have been nice to. I think we did talk earlier about that, but having that, yeah.
Just a place that can be. I mean, we'll see, but
yeah.
What else would I have done differently?
Just a few things. But you make it work. Yeah, that's all part of it. Life just comes at you. You just roll with it.
You really do,
and you do the best that you can at the moment.
Yes.
Yeah. But if you are currently in your bride season, then take it in. I think maybe that was my thing, is like with the dress, maybe I didn't take the time to take it in. I did feel like after I was like, dang, we only went to one place.
Yeah.
And I knew that was gonna happen, I think, because I'm pretty decisive. I'm not like super indecisive. And I wasn't like, oh, is there better? I don't know,
Yeah.
And I feel like you can go like on the deep end on that side,
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I did kind of was like, man, we only went to one spot.
Yeah.
Or like I only got to go one time, but just I think take it in.
Yeah.
And a big thing is like, no matter what season of life that you and your partner are in, like this moment is so special. Like whether you have the wedding or not, if you're engaged and you're engaged after so long, like it's still so special.
Absolutely.
I think I don't remember if I said it in our engagement episode, but I feel like I wanted to say that. I don't remember if I did, but like, and I tell it now to like a lot of friends, or I call them friends, or on social media that we went to high school together. That you're happy when you see it, and I congratulate them, and they'll be like, yeah, like it only took 8 years, 9 years, and I'm like, it's okay, it's still special. Like the next episode, the if he wanted to, he would culture. I feel, and I think we did talk about it. Like as long as y'all are on the same page, it's all good. And the same thing with the wedding. Like as long as y'all two are on the same page, that's what matters.
Absolutely.
Because there's a lot of outside noise that comes in during that time.
Yes. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. And like you said, take it in, but also like don't stress yourself like that everything has to go a certain way. There's no way. It's one day. Like I cannot imagine everything working out perfectly.
Yeah.
And you not being on edge the whole day, like just the whole months leading up to it.
Yeah.
There's no way.
There's too many moving parts.
Too many. Yes.
For you to make sure that everything's going. And if you're like worrying about that, then you're not in the moment.
Yeah.
And it's
you're
going to wish.
Maybe you're not, really realizing what is the actual thing that's happening. And it's of you and your partner finally becoming one.
Yeah.
And you're taking their last name.
Mm-hmm. Or not. I mean, some don't, but y'all are, I don't, it's officially family.
Yeah.
Y'all are officially official. For real, for real.
It's a beautiful day that should be spent like just cherishing, celebrating the love
and the life that y'all built and will continue to build together.
Yeah.
So congratulations if you're here. Whatever y'all choose to do is going to be right for y'all. Yep. So Primas, thank y'all for watching. If you liked this video, like, comment, subscribe to our channel.
Comment down below if you're getting married. And
yes.
Thanks for being here.
And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Adios.